There's a sound, a specific miserable little jingle, and the second it kicks in, every gamer on Earth has the same Pavlovian response, pure, undiluted panic. You're scrambling, you're mashing buttons, you're searching every pixel of the screen for an air bubble like your life depends on it, because it does. Sonic is about to drown, baby, and he's going to take a chunk of your childhood with him. Water levels are gaming's collective trauma. They are the level design equivalent of stepping on a Lego in the middle of the night while carrying a full cup of coffee. They've ended speedruns, broken controllers, and probably caused a couple of divorces. And yet, somehow against all logic, a few of them are absolute masterpieces, pure dripping wet greatness. So today we're getting submerged. We're ranking the top 5 water levels in gaming history, the good, the bad, and the ones that legally count as psychological warfare. So let's get into it. Number 5, Hydrocity Zone from Sonic the Hedgehog 3. And before any of you Sonic stands start typing in the comments, yes, I know it's technically pronounced Hydro City, not Hydrocity. We've all heard the lore. We've all seen the YouTube essays. Calm down. The reason this level slaps is because it's the rare water stage that actually plays to Sonic's strengths instead of fighting them. You're zipping through these gorgeous turquoise corridors, surfing on water spouts, getting flung off pipes at Mach 4, just generally vibing. The music is hard, like this might be one of the best tracks on the entire Genesis, and then the moment you accidentally fall into a pocket of water and that countdown jingle kicks in, Sega flips a switch in your brain that turns you into a cornered animal. 5, 4, 3, Sonic's eyes go wide, you can hear his little rodent heart pounding, 2, 1, and that dramatic gulp as he sinks into the abyss is the closest thing video games have ever come to an actual war crime. Hydrocity earns a spot purely on emotional damage. Number 4, Dire Dire Docks from Super Mario 64. This level is what happens when Nintendo decides to write a love letter to childhood and then tape an unkillable serpent demon to the back of it. The music in this stage, that smooth, dreamy, almost lo-fi instrumental, is so beautiful it should come with a candle and a glass of wine. People literally fall asleep to this song. There are 8-hour loops of it on YouTube with millions of views. It's the most relaxed Nintendo has ever been. And then you swim down to grab a star, and out of the murky depths comes Unagi, the eel, that long slithering nightmare with cold dead eyes and zero respect for your bedtime. Mario doesn't have weapons, Mario has a hat. You're swimming around this primal sea snake with the same energy as a guy who just realized his Uber driver has been making wrong turns for 20 minutes. Nintendo absolutely cooked when they paired the most relaxing music in gaming with the most stressful aquatic encounter. Pure psychological warfare. And speaking of water you actually want in your life, quick break, this video is sponsored by SYPS, who hooked me up with their countertop water dispenser. Real talk, it's been weirdly life-changing. It chills and filters your water right at your desk, so you're not getting up every 5 minutes to dig past the leftovers in the fridge for a Brita that's somehow always empty. Cold, clean water within arm's reach, zero fridge space wasted. If you spend long hours posted up at a desk like I do, this thing earns all of its real estate. Anyway, back to drowning. Number 3, Rapture from Bioshock. And listen, I know technically the entire game takes place underwater, so calling Rapture a water level is like calling Mount Everest a hill. But you cannot tell the story of water in gaming without bowing to the submerged Art Deco fever dream. The opening alone, you crawl out of that bathysphere, the lights flicker on, and you see this collapsing Atlantis dripping with seawater and crazy people in bunny masks. It is one of the most iconic level introductions in the history of the medium. Every window, every leak, every groaning piece of metal is constantly reminding you that the only thing standing between you and getting crushed flat is some cracked glass and Andrew Ryan's narcissism. The water isn't a level here, the water is the antagonist. It's the thing that wants to kill you the entire game. And the genius is that you almost never actually swim in it. You just feel it, pressing in, watching. That is masterclass level design, and 20 years later, nobody has matched it. Would you kindly put it on the list? Number 2, The Water Temple, Ocarina of Time. 1998, probably the most infamous level in the history of video games. If you grew up in the Nintendo 64 era, this is where childhoods went to die. Specifically, you had to pause the game, open the menu, equip the iron boots, close the menu, walk 3 feet, sink, fight an enemy, then pause again, unequip the iron boots, close the menu, float back up, and do that on a loop until the heat of the death universe. 3DS Remake actually made the iron boots a button toggle, and the entire dungeon went from a 6-hour ordeal to a 1-hour adventure, which means Nintendo on some level knew. They knew what they did to us. They were holding us hostage with the menu screen, but here's the unhinged part, it's still a brilliant dungeon. The water level mechanic where you raise and lower the floor of the temple to access different floors is genuinely genius spatial design. It's just that the user interface was apparently designed by somebody's dad. Iconic, infamous, immortal. And number 1, in the slot it deserves with zero argument, Subnautica. Subnautica isn't a water level. Subnautica is the water level. The entire game is the answer to the question, what if water itself was the final boss? You crash land on an alien ocean planet with nothing but a snorkel and dwindling sanity, and the game just goes, all right, swim, have fun. Don't think about what's down there, and that's the thing. Subnautica understands something most games never figured out. The scariest part of water isn't what's in it, it's what might be in it. Every game on this list, deep down, is playing with the same primal fear. We are land animals. Our brains are not built to be 600 feet deep with no air and a giant shadow swimming underneath us. Subnautica weaponizes that. There are no jump scares, there are no monsters chasing you down a hallway. There's just you, the ocean, and the slowly dawning realization that you're being watched by something with too many teeth. First time a Reaper Leviathan screams at you from across the void, your soul exits through your back and goes home. That is what a water level can do at its absolute peak. It's not a level, it's an emotion. Number 1, easy. And here's what I think is actually wild about water levels. They get clowned on constantly. There's an entire subgenre of YouTube videos titled, I hate water levels. But the reason they're so memorable, even the bad ones, is because water is the only environmental mechanic that fundamentally changes the rules of how you play. Most games are about momentum, run, jump, shoot, whatever. Water takes all that away. Suddenly you're slow, you're vulnerable, you can't reach where you need to go, you're managing oxygen, depth, currents, fear. That's not lazy design, that's the developers asking a much harder question. What does this character do when everything they're good at is taken away from them? And the games that nail it, the Bioshocks, the Subnauticas, the Ocarinas, those are the ones we're still talking about 30 years later, even when we're complaining, especially when we're complaining. So yeah, water levels. They drowned us, they traumatized us, and somehow they made some of the greatest moments in gaming history. And after sitting here yelling about water, I think I gotta go drink some. Speaking of, let me know down in the comments which water level broke you. Personal vendettas welcome. Hit subscribe if you want more lists like this. Smash that like button if you survived the water temple, and I'll catch you in the next one.